Am, when you begin to look at life through the lens of energy rather than circumstance, everything changes. Am, you realize that interactions are not just exchanges of words, they are exchanges of frequencies. Am, every human being carries an invisible field that reflects their inner state, and this field is contagious. Am, some people radiate calm, creativity, and possibility, while others radiate bitterness, resentment, or fear. What am? The difference between those who succeed and those who remain trapped is not intelligence in the traditional sense. What am? But awareness. Smart people understand that their mind is like fertile soil. Whatever enters it will grow. Am, if you allow toxic seeds, criticism, doubt, jealousy to be planted and watered, they eventually take root. What am? But if you are selective, if you guard the gates of your attention, you preserve that soil for ideas that elevate you. Am. This is why ignoring toxic vibes is not weakness. It is strength. It is not avoidance. It is self-respect. Am. Think about it when you engage with negativity, you're essentially signing an energy contract. You're saying, I'll give my attention, my emotions, my time to this, but every ounce of energy you give to a toxic person or situation is energy you are subtracting from your vision, am, your growth, your purpose. Smart people see this clearly. What am? They understand that their energy is their most valuable currency. Am, just as you wouldn't hand your wallet to a stranger on the street. Am, you should not hand your emotional state to someone who thrives on chaos. What am? Neuroscience now shows us that emotions are not just fleeting moods. They are chemical signatures imprinted on the body. Am, the more you entertain negativity, the more you condition your nervous system to live in states of stress, anger, am, or fear. Over time, that becomes your baseline. You begin to anticipate negativity, to expect it, to look for it. It becomes the lens through which you see the world. And here is the tragedy, am. Your biology does not distinguish between what is real and what is rehearsed. What am? If you replay toxic interactions in your mind, your body lives them as if they are happening again. Smart people know this. That is why they refuse to rehearse the drama of others. Am. They discipline themselves to release it quickly. Am. To not allow it to lodge in the circuitry of their brain or the chemistry of their body. Philosophically, am. This is about sovereignty. Who rules your inner world? You or the noise around you? Am. To ignore toxic vibes is to declare sovereignty over your mind. It is to say, I am not available for lower frequencies, am, because I have chosen to operate at a higher one. This choice does not just protect your peace. What am? It amplifies your power. When you are no longer reactive to the environment, you become the environment. Am, you set the tone. You carry an energy that others feel, and that energy is magnetic. Think of the people you admire most, the leaders, creators, innovators. Do you see them arguing with petty voices? Am, defending themselves against every critic or entertaining every distraction? No. Am, they have transcended that level of engagement. Their energy is too precious, their vision too big. Am, they understand that engaging with toxicity is like wrestling with mud. You might win, am, but you'll still be covered in dirt. So instead, they rise above. They let silence speak. They let results speak. And here lies the paradox. Ignoring toxic vibes is not just about protection. It's about expansion. What am? When you withhold your energy from negativity, you free it for creativity. The energy you would have spent defending what am, arguing or reacting becomes fuel for building, innovating, and moving forward. This is why smart people win. Am, their victories are not only external, but internal. They are not exhausted by battles that do not matter. They are energized by visions that do. So when life presents you with the choice, react or ignore, what engage or let go. Remember this, every response is a vote for the reality you want to live in. If you want peace, choose peace. If you want clarity, choose clarity. If you want victory, stop giving your energy to battles that were never yours to fight. Because at the end of the day, success is not just about intelligence or strategy. It is about energy. The one who protects it multiplies it. The one who wastes it loses it. Smart people understand this truth at the deepest level. Ignoring toxic vibes is not indifference, it is wisdom. It is the discipline of someone who knows their future is too important to be derailed by the noise of the present. And the real victory is not just in winning against others. The real victory is in mastering yourself. When you strip success down to its essence, what separates the average from the exceptional is not just talent or intelligence. It is focus. Focus is the discipline of attention, the conscious choice to direct your mental and emotional energy toward what truly matters. Smart people recognize that toxic vibes are not just unpleasant, they are distractions disguised as invitations. Every time you engage with negativity, you are pulled off course. You start investing your attention into arguments, gossip, or comparison, and without realizing it, you've shifted from creator to reactor. Winners understand this trap, and that is why they treat their focus like sacred ground. It is not open for trespassers. You see, focus is a magnifier. Whatever you direct it toward expands in your experience. If you focus on limitations, they multiply. If you focus on possibilities, they expand. Toxic people thrive on attention because attention is fuel. It validates their chaos. But when you withhold that attention and instead pour it into your goals, your craft, your vision, you starve toxicity and feed greatness. The wise don't waste time proving others wrong. They invest time proving themselves right through results. That is why, in the long run, those who stay focused always outpace those who stay distracted. There is a profound psychological principle here. The human brain has what neuroscientists call a reticular activating system, a filter that decides what information to prioritize. It is like the lens of a camera adjusting to focus on what you believe is important. If you allow toxic vibes to dominate your attention, your brain will begin filtering the world through that negativity. You'll start noticing more problems, more criticism, more reasons to feel weighed down. But if you train your mind to focus on solutions, opportunities, and growth, your brain will seek out evidence of that instead. This is why two people can live in the same environment but experience completely different realities. One is consumed by noise, the other is locked onto vision. Smart people exploit this truth. They curate their environment not just physically but mentally. They are intentional about the books they read, the conversations they engage in, the content they consume, and the company they keep. They understand that focus is not just about discipline, it is about design. You don't wait for clarity to arrive. You engineer it by filtering out distractions. And the most dangerous distractions are not the obvious ones like television or scrolling endlessly on your phone. The most dangerous distractions are toxic vibes, those subtle emotional hooks that demand your reaction, that tempt you to prove yourself, defend yourself, or doubt yourself. The irony is that many people believe they are strong because they fight every battle. But true strength is in the restraint not to fight battles that don't lead anywhere. Focus is the ultimate superpower because it aligns all of your resources, your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward a singular aim. And when your energy is unified like that, you become unstoppable. The scattered waste their brilliance in fragments. The focused channel theirs into breakthroughs. Philosophically, focus is an act of faith. To ignore toxic distractions is to trust that your path is worthy of undivided devotion. It's saying, I don't need to waste time convincing doubters. I'd rather build something so undeniable that it silences every doubt. This is why the world eventually pays attention to those who stay focused. They are not competing in petty arenas. They are building empires. Think about it. History does not remember the critics, the gossipers, or the distractors. History remembers the ones who stayed so consumed with their vision that the noise faded into irrelevance. This is what smart people understand at a core level. They don't waste emotional bandwidth on what pulls them down. They stay obsessed with what pulls them forward. So the next time you encounter toxic vibes, recognize them for what they are. Not obstacles, but tests of focus. They are opportunities to practice mastery over your attention. And each time you choose your vision over distraction, you strengthen the muscle of focus. Over time, this discipline compounds. Suddenly, while others are drained from drama, you are energized from progress. While others are stuck in cycles of reaction, you are moving forward with clarity. And that is the essence of winning, to know that your energy is too precious to scatter. Your purpose too sacred to dilute. Smart people ignore toxic vibes because they know their focus is their future. There is a subtle but powerful distinction between reacting to life and responding to it. Reaction is automatic, emotional, impulsive. Response is intentional, measured, conscious. Smart people have mastered this distinction, and the key that allows them to do so is emotional detachment. They understand that clarity cannot coexist with chaos, and when you let toxic vibes dictate your state, your clarity dissolves. To detach emotionally is not to shut down your heart or become cold. It is to reclaim the authority over your inner world so that you can see reality as it truly is, not as negativity colors it. When someone throws anger at you, what they want is a reaction. When someone criticizes you unfairly, what they want is to shake your center. Toxic energy thrives on pulling others into its storm. But when you remain detached, you become like a mountain in the wind, unmoved, unshaken, immovable. The storm swirls around you, but it does not enter you. That space between what happens and how you respond is the birthplace of power. It's where clarity lives. It's where wisdom speaks. There is a psychological principle that explains this. The mind functions best when it is not hijacked by emotional turbulence. Neuroscience shows us that when you are reactive, your brain shifts control from the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic, reasoning, and creativity, into the amygdala, the survival center. In survival mode, you are not thinking about growth, opportunity, or vision. You are thinking about defense, about escape, about immediate survival. That is why toxic interactions feel so draining. They pull you into survival chemistry. Smart people refuse to live in that state. They detach not to avoid life, but to rise above the chemical storm and re-engage from clarity. Philosophically, detachment is a form of liberation. It is the freedom to not be chained by someone else's mood, opinion, or dysfunction. What am? It means you can walk into a room full of negativity and still carry peace. Am, you can face criticism and still hear your own voice clearly. You can encounter failure and still see it as feedback. Am, not as a verdict. Detachment does not numb you, it sharpens you. Am, it allows you to remain centered in truth rather than lost in reaction. Am, this practice of detachment also refines your perception of what actually matters. Without detachment, what am? Everything feels urgent. Every comment stings, every criticism lingers, every disagreement feels like a battle to win. But with detachment, you learn to see which things are worth your energy and which are not. You begin to recognize that not every vibration deserves your frequency. Not every conflict deserves your presence. Not every insult deserves your reply. And in choosing where to place your energy, you amplify your strength instead of scattering it. The greatest leaders in history embodied this principle. They were surrounded by critics, doubters, even enemies, yet they remained unmoved in their focus. What am? They did not waste time defending themselves against every voice. They held their clarity by detaching from noise. What am? And because of that, their vision outlasted the voices. Their calm was not passivity, it was power. Their silence was not weakness, it was strategy. Smart people understand that clarity comes only when you are no longer clouded by emotional interference. A mind that is constantly stirred up cannot see the path ahead. But a detached mind, calm and collected, can discern patterns, opportunities, and solutions invisible to those caught in the chaos. In detachment, what you reclaim time, energy, and perspective, all of which are the currencies of progress. So, when you encounter toxic vibes, instead of reacting, pause, breathe, step back internally. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? Is this aligned with my vision? That moment of questioning creates the gap where clarity emerges. In that gap, you shift from being a reactor to being a creator of your reality. What Detachment is not about escaping the world. It's about mastering how you move through it. It gives you the ability to navigate storms without losing direction. To engage with life fully without being consumed by its noise. And that is why smart people win. They're not tossed around by every emotion or every toxic wave. They hold their center, and from that center, they move with precision, with clarity, with purpose. At the deepest level, detachment is love for your higher self. Is saying, I refuse to abandon my peace for someone else's chaos. And when you live this way, life opens up. Opportunities find you. Solutions become clear. The path unfolds with ease. Because the truth is this, clarity is the real power, and detachment is how you access it. And when you can see clearly, you are already ahead. Resilience is often misunderstood. Many believe it is simply the ability to endure hardship, to push through pain, or to bounce back after failure. But smart people know resilience runs deeper than that. It is not just survival, it is alignment. It is the art of holding your inner state steady. Even when the external world tries to pull you apart. And nothing tests resilience more than exposure to toxic vibes. Toxicity is designed to disrupt. It thrives on reaction, feeding off your energy, your time, and your peace. It wants to drag you into its spiral. But here's the truth. Resilience is not about fighting every toxic force you encounter. Resilience is about refusing to surrender your alignment. It is about remaining centered in your vision, grounded in your values, and anchored in your higher purpose. That is what makes smart people unshakable. They don't give their power away. At a psychological level, resilience is built when you learn to regulate your internal state, no matter the external pressure. The world may be chaotic, but you refuse to internalize that chaos. Your mind may be provoked, but you choose not to engage. Your heart may feel pulled, but you return to balance. This is not suppression. It is mastery. It is the recognition that if you allow the outer world to dictate your inner world, you will always be enslaved by circumstances. But when your inner world rules the outer, you become free. And here's the fascinating part. Neuroscience reveals that resilience is not just a character trait. It is a skill. Every time you choose calm over reaction, patience over anger, or vision over distraction, you are rewiring your brain to operate from strength rather than weakness. You are conditioning your nervous system to live in coherence instead of conflict. Over time, that wiring becomes your default. Instead of being easily shaken, you become naturally stable. Instead of being easily discouraged, you recover quickly. Instead of being drained by toxicity, you become immune to it. Philosophically, resilience is the marriage between discipline and faith. Discipline keeps you rooted in practices that strengthen your mind and body, reflection, gratitude, intentional living. Faith reminds you that the storm is temporary, but your vision is eternal. When these two work together, resilience is born. And with resilience, toxic vibes lose their grip on you. They may appear, but they cannot penetrate. They may roar, but they cannot rule. Think of a tree during a storm. The weak branches snap because they are rigid, reactive. But the strong tree bends, adjusts, and still stands tall when the storm passes. That is resilience. It is flexibility without breaking, strength without rigidity. Smart people embody this truth. They bend when needed, but they never break. They adapt to circumstances, but they never abandon their center. This is why resilient people win. Toxicity cannot derail them because their power does not come from external approval or conditions. It comes from within. They are not motivated by the need to silence critics or prove themselves in the eyes of doubters. They are motivated by alignment with their higher purpose, and purpose, once anchored, is untouchable. Now, resilience is not built overnight. It is forged in the small daily choices you make. Choosing not to respond to provocation. Choosing to meditate instead of ruminate. Choosing to focus on gratitude instead of gossip. Choosing to keep your eyes on the horizon instead of the distractions at your feet. Each of these choices strengthens your core. Each one adds to the foundation of resilience. And when life throws its inevitable storms, you find that you don't just survive. You grow stronger because of them. At the highest level, resilience transforms toxic energy into fuel. Smart people don't just resist negativity, they alchemize it. They take doubt and turn it into motivation. They take rejection and turn it into redirection. They take criticism and use it as refinement. Toxic vibes, rather than breaking them, become the very pressure that sharpens their edge. This is resilience in its purest forms, not resistance, but transformation. And this is the ultimate reason smart people ignore toxic vibes. It's not that they don't feel them. It's not that they are blind to them. It's that they understand those vibes hold no real power unless you grant them entry. Resilience is the gatekeeper. And when you stay aligned, when you refuse to hand over your peace, you win, not just externally, but internally. Am. So when you find yourself surrounded by negativity, remember this resilience is not the absence of difficulty. Am. It is the presence of alignment. It is not about fighting storms. It is about becoming the calm within them. What am? And once you master that, there is nothing in the world that can take you off your path. Am. Because the truth is simple. Resilient people don't just survive the noise, they rise above it. Am. And that is why they win.